First contact catastrophe. The Artemis shuddered violently as it tore through the fabric of space-time. Warning lights flashed across the bridge, bathing the crew in an eerie red glow as the experimental vessel's quantum drive struggled to stabilize. Status. Report! Captain Elena West shouted over the blaring alarms, gripping her command chair to avoid being thrown to the deck. Lieutenant Commander Raj Sharma's fingers flew across the navigation console. Drive malfunction, Captain. The quantum harmonics are destabilizing. We're being pulled off course, way off course. The Artemis had been humanity's most ambitious project to date, a deep space exploration vessel equipped with the newly developed HFY quantum displacement drive. The technology was supposed to allow controlled jumps through folded spacetime, revolutionizing humanity's ability to explore beyond their solar system. This was meant to be a simple test jump to Alpha Centauri and back. Divert emergency power to the stabilizers, Elena ordered, her gray eyes focused on the view screen as reality itself seemed to bend around them. Chief Engineer Maya Chen's voice came over the comms, strained but determined. Trying, Captain, but the displacement field is collapsing. Prepare for emergency exit in 3, 2, 1. The violent shaking suddenly stopped. The red emergency lights continued to pulse, but the bone-jarring vibrations ceased. The view screen, which had shown only the twisted visual distortion of quantum space, now displayed a vista of unfamiliar stars. Where are we? Elena asked. The question hanging heavy in the air. Science Officer Dr. Adam Pierce hunched over his sensor station. Unknown, Captain. These star patterns don't match anything in our database. Based on preliminary readings. He paused, double-checking his instruments. We're approximately 12,000 light-years from Earth. A stunned silence fell over the bridge. The Artemis had just made a jump orders of magnitude beyond what the drive was designed for, a distance that would have taken conventional spacecraft thousands of years to traverse. The quantum drive is offline, Maya reported from engineering. Power fluctuations across all systems. We've blown 3 main relays and the drive needs a complete recalibration. We're not jumping again anytime soon. Elena took a deep breath, steadying herself. This was why the Artemis crew had been selected, all top specialists in their fields trained to handle the unexpected. All right, first priority is assessing our situation. Adam, continue sensor sweeps. Raj, plot our exact position as best you can. Maya, I need a timeline on repairs. Captain, the tactical officer, Lieutenant Derek Hayes, called out suddenly. I'm detecting artificial structures at the edge of our sensor range, multiple signatures. They appear to be vessels. Elena stood, moving closer to Hayes' station. Alien vessels? Unknown design, definitely not terrestrial, Hayes confirmed. Their drive signatures don't match any known propulsion system. They're changing course, heading this way. Fast. Yellow alert. Bring defensive systems online, but keep weapons powered down, Elena ordered. Humanity had long speculated about first contact, but no one had expected it to happen 12,000 light-years from home with a stranded ship. Open all standard communication frequencies. Broadcast our first contact package. The first contact package, a carefully designed series of mathematical sequences, simple pictographs and basic language primers, had been prepared by Earth's linguists, mathematicians, and anthropologists for exactly this scenario. It was humanity's hello to the cosmos. Package transmitting, communications officer Sasha Novak confirmed. No response yet. The bridge view screen showed the approaching vessels, sleek asymmetrical craft with brilliant blue energy signatures trailing behind them. 5 in total, they moved with precision, spreading out to surround the Artemis. They're scanning us, Dr. Pierce reported. Multiple frequencies, very thorough. Let them look, Elena said. We have nothing to hide. Minutes passed in tense silence as the alien vessels continued their scans. Then, without warning, the lead ship fired a brilliant pulse of energy that struck the Artemis, causing the ship to rock violently. Direct hit to our port shield, Hayes reported. Shields holding at 92%. That was unprovoked, Elena said, disbelief evident in her voice. Sasha, keep broadcasting the first contact package. Make it clear we're not hostile. Another energy Pulse struck the Artemis stronger this time. Shields at 85%, Hayes called out. They're powering up for another volley. Elena's expression hardened. Defensive measures only. Target their weapon systems with minimal force. Disable, don't destroy. The Artemis's point defense system came online, firing precisely calibrated energy pulses that struck the lead alien vessel's weapon ports. The effect was immediate. The alien ship's weapons went dark, and it drifted slightly off course. Direct hit. Their main weapon system appears disabled, Hayes reported, unable to keep a note of satisfaction from his voice. Instead of backing down, the remaining alien vessels intensified their attack. Energy bolts hammered the Artemis from multiple directions. Shields at 70%, Hayes warned. They're coordinating their attacks now. Elena made a quick decision. Return fire. Disable their propulsion systems. I want them immobile but intact. The Artemis's defensive batteries fired in perfect synchronization, striking each attacking vessel with surgical precision. 2 more alien ships lost power to their weapons, while another spun off course, its engines disabled. "Captain, we're being hailed," Sasha called out suddenly. "They're transmitting some kind of... I think it's an audio-visual signal." "Put it on screen," Elena ordered. The view screen flickered, and an alien face appeared. The being had iridescent, blue-green skin, large compound eyes, and what appeared to be gill-like structures along its neck. When it spoke, the sound was a series of clicks and whistles that the ship's computer couldn't translate. "They seem agitated," Dr. Pierce observed, "but they've ceased firing." "Sasha, transmit the first contact package again, followed by images of us standing down our weapons," Elena ordered. "Let's see if we can defuse this situation." Before Sasha could comply, the alien transmission cut off. The remaining functional alien vessels regrouped, keeping their distance from the Artemis. "Captain," Hayes called out, alarm in his voice. "Long-range sensors are detecting multiple new contacts. Larger vessels, at least 20 of them, approaching rapidly." Elena frowned. "It seems our first impression wasn't a good one. Raj, are there any nearby stellar phenomena we can use for cover?" "Nebulae. Asteroid fields. There's a dense asteroid belt around the 4th planet in this system," Raj replied. "It would provide cover from their sensors." "Set course. Full impulse. We need time to assess the situation and repair the quantum drive." As the Artemis accelerated toward the asteroid belt, the crew exchanged troubled glances. Their mission had just changed dramatically, from a simple test flight to being stranded in unknown space, having engaged in humanity's first interstellar battle. "Why did they attack us?" Dr. Pierce wondered aloud, voicing the question on everyone's mind. "I don't know," Elena replied grimly. "But we just demonstrated that one human ship can stand against several of theirs. For better or worse, that's humanity's first impression on the galactic stage." In the grand assembly chamber of the Galactic Concordat, Archspeaker Thexus pounded a ceremonial staff against the floor, calling for order. Representatives from 17 spacefaring civilizations filled the tiered seating, their voices raised in alarm and confusion. "Silence," Thexus commanded, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence, a sign of extreme agitation among the Videri species. High Commander Xylax will present his report. A tall, muscular being with armored scales covering its body stepped to the central platform. High Commander Xylax of the Concordat Defense Force was a Trakan, a species known for their martial prowess and straightforward assessment of threats. "Esteemed representatives," Xylax began, his deep voice carrying throughout the chamber. 6 hours ago, a vessel of unknown design appeared in the Sarek system. When approached by a standard patrol group, this vessel demonstrated hostile intent and advanced weaponry, disabling 3 of our ships before retreating to the Sarek's asteroid belt. Holographic images of the Artemis appeared above Xylax, rotating slowly to show the vessel from all angles. "Initial scans indicate technology far beyond our own," Xylax continued. "Their defensive shields absorbed concentrated fire from 5 patrol vessels. Their weapons disabled our ships with surgical precision. Most concerning, they appeared from nowhere. Our monitoring stations detected a massive energy signature, and then the vessel simply existed where nothing had been before." Murmurs spread through the assembly. "Where did they come from?" asked the Iltheran representative, her feathered crest rising in alarm. Unknown, Xylax admitted, but their appearance suggests a form of instantaneous transportation technology that violates our understanding of physics. If they can appear anywhere without warning. He left the implication hanging. Was communication attempted? This question came from Nix Vela, representative of the Solari, a species known for their diplomatic approach. Yes, Xylax replied. They transmitted data packets containing mathematical sequences and pictograms. Our analysts are studying them now, but preliminary assessment suggests it may be a deception to lower our guard. Thexus raised a slender hand. Explain your reasoning, High Commander. The vessel is clearly designed for warfare, Xylax said firmly. Its hull configuration, weapon placements, and defensive capabilities all indicate a militaristic purpose. Yet they claim peaceful intent. More likely, this is an advanced scout for an invasion force testing our defenses. The chamber erupted in frightened discussions. Thexus pounded his staff again. What do you propose, High Commander? He asked once order was restored. Xylax's expression hardened. I have already deployed the 7th Fleet to contain the vessel. We will capture it, study its technology, and prepare for what comes next. This is clearly an advanced civilization that has discovered the Concordate. We must assume their intentions are conquest. That has been the way of advanced species throughout galactic history. You base this on one encounter? Nix Vela challenged. Perhaps they defended themselves, because they were fired upon first? The patrol followed standard procedures, Xylax countered. They administered a calibrated warning shot to establish dominance, as we do with all newly encountered species. Most respond with submission. These aliens responded with precise military strikes. That tells us everything we need to know about their nature. Thexus turned to the assembly. The council will vote. Those in favor of High Commander Xylax's containment and capture strategy. More than 2/3 of the representatives indicated their approval. Those opposed? A smaller number, led by Nix Vela and the representatives of the more peaceful concordate species, registered their opposition. The motion carries, Thexus declared. High Commander, you have the Council's authorization. Proceed with caution. We want this vessel and its occupants captured intact for study. Xylax bowed stiffly. The 7th Fleet will surround the asteroid belt within 6 hours. The alien vessel cannot escape. As the assembly dispersed, none of the concordate leaders noticed the small, spider-like drone clinging to the ceiling, its advanced optical sensors recording everything. The drone's quantum-encrypted transmission was already being received by the Artemis, hidden deep within the asteroid belt. Captain Elena West watched the recording with her senior officers, her expression grim. So that's what we're dealing with, she said quietly. A confederation of species jumping to conclusions. They think we're the vanguard of an invasion force. To be fair, we did disable 3 of their ships, Maya pointed out. After they fired on us without provocation, Elena countered. But that's hardly relevant now. They're sending 30 ships to capture us, and the quantum drive is still offline. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. They were vastly outnumbered, trapped in unfamiliar space and about to be hunted by an entire interstellar coalition. Options? Elena asked finally. We could try to negotiate, suggested Dr. Pierce. Make it clear we represent no threat. They've already voted against diplomatic approaches, Raj pointed out. They want our ship and our technology. We could hide deeper in the asteroid field, Hayes offered. Play cat and mouse until the drive is repaired. Elena shook her head. With 30 ships, they'll find us eventually. She studied the tactical display for a long moment. Then a slow smile spread across her face. They think one human ship is dangerous? Let's show them why. Diplomatic disaster. The faint blue glow of emergency lighting cast long shadows across the Artemis's bridge as Captain Elena West outlined her audacious plan to her senior officers. The ship's main power had been diverted to essential systems and repairs, leaving only minimal illumination. They expect us to hide and wait for capture, Elena said, gesturing to the holographic display showing the approaching Concordate fleet. Instead, we're going to take the initiative. With respect, Captain, Lieutenant Hayes interjected, we're outnumbered 30-1. Even with our technological edge, those aren't good odds. Elena nodded, which is why we won't be fighting them, at least not directly. Maya, what's the status on that stealth drone we recovered from the council chamber? Chief Engineer Chen stepped forward. We've analyzed its design, sophisticated cloaking technology using phase-shifted matter. I think we can adapt the principle to the Artemis, at least temporarily. Explain, Elena prompted. We can't make the whole ship invisible, Maya clarified. But we can create a localized phase distortion field that will disguise our energy signature. To their sensors, we'll register as a cluster of asteroids rather than a ship. The effect won't last long. Maybe 20 minutes before our power systems can't sustain it anymore. 20 minutes should be enough, Elena said. Here's the plan. We use the phase distortion to slip past their perimeter. Once clear, we'll execute a series of micro-jumps using conventional thrusters to appear in multiple locations almost simultaneously. Doctor, Pierce's eyes widened as he caught on. You want them to think there are multiple human ships. Exactly, Elena confirmed. We'll appear at key strategic locations across their territory, conduct rapid scans, and jump away before they can respond. Effectively, if we do this right, they'll think they're facing not one scout ship, but an entire human fleet that's already infiltrated their territory. Psychological warfare, Lieutenant Commander Sharma observed. But to what end? First, to gather intelligence about their military capabilities and command structure, Elena explained. Second, to demonstrate that we could have attacked their critical infrastructure but chose not to. And finally, to force them to reconsider their assumption that we're hostile invaders. The senior officers exchanged glances, a mixture of apprehension and admiration in their expressions. It's risky, Hayes acknowledged, but it beats waiting here to be captured. One problem, Maya added. The quantum drive is still offline. If this doesn't work, we can't escape through a quantum jump. That's why failure isn't an option, Elena replied firmly. Let's get to work. We need to be ready before their fleet completes its encirclement. 6 hours later, High Commander Xilax stood on the bridge of the Concordate flagship, the indomitable Resolve, watching with satisfaction as his fleet formed a sphere around the asteroid belt where the alien vessel had taken refuge. The containment formation is complete, High Commander, reported his second-in-command, Sub-Commander Trell. All ships are in position and scanning the asteroid field systematically. Excellent, Xilax rumbled. They cannot escape. Once we locate them. High Commander, a sensor operator interrupted, her voice pitched higher in alarm. We're detecting the alien vessel at Outpost Zenith. Xilax spun around. Impossible. Outpost Zenith is 3 sectors away. Before he could process this information, another report came in. High Commander, Central Command reports the alien vessel has just appeared at Research Station Epsilon. The same vessel? Xilax demanded. Sensor signatures are identical, the Jiao operator confirmed. A third alarm sounded. Defense Platform Omega is reporting the alien vessel in their sector. Xilax's scaled face darkened with rage and confusion. 3 ships. There are 3 of them. He slammed his fist against the tactical display. Why didn't our long-range sensors detect their approach? Unknown, sir, Trell admitted. It's as if they appeared from nowhere. Xilax's eyes narrowed as he realized the implications. The transportation technology. They must have more of these vessels than we thought, and they can deploy them anywhere. He turned to his communications officer. Alert the Council. The invasion has begun. On the Artemis, Captain West monitored the growing chaos in the Concordate command network with grim satisfaction. Sasha had managed to crack their basic communications, encryption, giving them insight into the Concordate's panicked response. They think we're a fleet, Elena noted. The phase distortion field is working perfectly. They have no idea it's the same ship appearing in different locations. We've gathered data on 6 major installations, Dr. Pierce reported. Their defensive capabilities are significant in terms of numbers, but their technology is at least a century behind ours in key areas. Maya, how much longer can we maintain this operation? Elena asked. The engines are approaching critical temperature, Maya warned. We can make 2 more jumps before we risk permanent damage. Elena studied the tactical display. Then let's make them count. Next target, their fleet command ship. Minutes later, the Artemis appeared directly in front of the indomitable Resolve, so close that the massive alien vessel couldn't bring its main weapons to bear without risking hitting itself. The human ship circled the command vessel at high speed, scanners recording every detail of its construction and defenses. On the bridge of the indomitable Resolve, Xylax watched in helpless fury as the smaller human vessel danced around his flagship. "Lock weapons," he roared. "We can't get a targeting solution," his weapons officer responded frantically. "They're moving too fast and too close to our hull." The Artemis completed its scan and vanished again, leaving the Concordat flagship's crew staring at empty space. "Where did they go?" Xylax demanded. The answer came moments later as alarms sounded throughout the ship. "High Commander," Sub-Commander Trell reported, his voice strained. "The alien vessel has appeared in orbit around Concordia itself, directly above the Council Chamber." The Artemis hovered in geosynchronous orbit above the Concordat's capital, world, its sensors focused on the Grand Council Chamber below. The planet's defense grid was on full alert, but hesitant to fire with their own government potentially in the line of fire. "Transmitting our message now," Sasha announced. Unlike their previous attempts at communication, this message was different, a carefully crafted statement in the Concordat's own language, pieced together from the communications they had intercepted. "We come in peace," the message began. "Your unprovoked attack on our exploration vessel has been met with restraint. We could have targeted your critical infrastructure but chose not to. We request an immediate cessation of hostilities and diplomatic dialogue." The message continued with mathematical proofs demonstrating humanity's scientific advancement, along with images showing Earth's diverse ecosystem and peaceful cooperation among humans. "Message transmitted," Sasha confirmed. "The Concordat leadership should be receiving it now." "Prepare for final jump," Elena ordered. "Maya, status of the engines?" "Redlining, Captain," Maya replied tensely. "We need to let them cool down after this jump, or we risk burning out the entire propulsion system." "Understood. Raj, set course for the coordinates we discussed. Execute jump on my mark." Elena took one last look at the Concordat homeworld, hoping their message would have the desired effect. Mark. The Artemis disappeared from Concordia's orbit, reappearing moments later in a remote star system several light-years from any known Concordat installation. As promised, Elena had chosen a location with a dense nebula that would help mask their presence while they made repairs. "Power down all non-essential systems," Elena ordered. "Maya, get those engines cooled and begin repairs on the quantum drive. We need options." The bridge crew worked in focused silence, each aware of the gravity of their situation. They had shown the Concordat what one human ship could do, but in doing so, may have confirmed the aliens' worst fears about humanity's capabilities. In the council chamber on Concordia, chaos reigned. Representatives shouted over one another, as Archspeaker Thexus struggled to maintain order. "They appeared directly above us," one representative cried. "They could have destroyed this entire building." "But they didn't," Nixvella pointed out. "Instead, they sent a message, a request, for diplomatic dialogue." High Commander Xylax, who had rushed back to Concordia after the Artemis's appearance, stepped forward. "A deception. Their actions speak louder than their words. They have infiltrated our territory, scanned our military installations, and demonstrated the ability to strike anywhere at will. Yet they have fired upon no one since our initial engagement," Nixvella countered. "Is it not possible that we misinterpreted their intentions from the beginning? That they defended themselves against what they perceived as unprovoked aggression?" "Irrelevant," Xylax dismissed. "We now face an existential threat. These aliens possess technology far beyond our own, including instantaneous transportation, across vast distances. They have already proven they can bypass our defenses at will. Then perhaps diplomacy is even more essential, argued Nixvela, if we cannot defeat them militarily. Who said we cannot defeat them? Xylax interrupted. Yes, their technology is advanced, but we have numbers. They have shown us only a handful of vessels. The Concordat has thousands. Archspeaker Thexus raised his staff for silence. We have received their message. What do our analysts say about their claims? A slender being with crystalline features stepped forward, the head of Concordat Intelligence. The message appears genuine in its construction. Archspeaker. They use our language with surprising accuracy for a newly encountered species. Their mathematical proofs demonstrate advanced understanding of theoretical physics, including principles our own scientists have only recently begun to explore. And the images they sent? Of their homeworld? Thexus pressed. If genuine, they show a Class M planet with diverse biospheres. The beings themselves appear to be carbon-based bipeds, physically unimposing compared to species like the Traken. The intelligence chief continued, nodding toward Xylax. However, their technological advancement suggests physical prowess may be irrelevant. Xylax stepped forward again. Archspeaker, while the council debates, these aliens are still out there. They have demonstrated hostile intent. Defensive capability, Nixvela corrected. They disabled 3 of our patrol vessels, Xylax countered. After our patrol fired the first shot, Nixvela reminded everyone. Xylax ignored her. They have infiltrated our territory, gathered military intelligence, and now disappeared again. The pattern is clear. They are preparing for war. Or perhaps, Nixvela suggested, they are simply trying to understand who attacked them and why. The debate continued for hours, growing increasingly heated. Finally, Archspeaker Thexus called for a vote. The council has 2 options before it, he announced. First, as proposed by Representative Nixvela, we attempt diplomatic contact with these aliens seeking peaceful resolution. Second, as proposed by High Commander Xylax, we formally declare these aliens hostile and mobilize the full military might of the Concordat to hunt down their vessels and protect our territory from invasion. The vote was close, but fear proved more powerful than hope. By a narrow margin, the council approved Xylax's proposal. The resolution passes, Thexus declared solemnly. From this moment forward, these aliens are declared enemies of the Galactic Concordat. All military forces are authorized to engage and destroy their vessels on sight. High Commander Xylax will lead our response to this threat. Xylax bowed in acknowledgement, satisfaction evident in his posture. I will not fail the Concordat. These aliens, these humans, will learn that even with their advanced technology, they cannot stand against our united strength. As the council session ended, Nixvela approached Thexus privately. This is a mistake, Archspeaker. We may be starting a war we cannot win. The council has spoken, Thexus replied firmly. The military assessment is clear. While these humans have technological advantages, they appear to have only a small number of vessels. The Concordat's vast fleets will overwhelm them. And if there are more of them? Nixvela pressed. If what we've seen is truly just an exploratory vessel as they claim, Thexus's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. Then the Concordat faces the greatest threat in its history. But we cannot allow fear of the unknown to dictate our policy. High Commander, Xylax will find these humans and neutralize the threat they pose. Nixvela departed, troubled by the council's decision. As she walked through the grand halls of the council building, she couldn't shake the feeling that the Concordat had just made a catastrophic error, one that might have consequences beyond anything they could imagine. Back on the Artemis, Captain Elena West received the news with resignation. They've declared war on humanity, she informed her officers during their emergency briefing. The Concordat is mobilizing its entire military to hunt us down. One ship, Dr. Pierce said incredulously. They're declaring war on humanity because of one ship. A ship that appeared out of nowhere, disabled their patrol vessels, and then seemed to materialize at multiple strategic locations across their territory, Elena pointed out. From their perspective, we represent an unprecedented threat. So what now, Captain? Raj asked. The quantum drive is still weeks away from being operational. We can't return to Earth to warn them, and even if we could, Earth has no significant space fleet to defend against an interstellar coalition. Elena considered their options carefully. We need allies. The vote in their council was close. Not all of the concordate species support this war. We need to find those who opposed it and establish communication. You want to reach out to aliens? Who just declared war on us? Hayes asked skeptically. Not the concordate officially, Elena clarified. The faction that argued for diplomatic contact, this Nix Vela and her supporters. They might be our best hope for resolving this peacefully. And if diplomacy fails, Maya asked quietly. Elena's expression hardened. Then we show them exactly what one human ship can really do. Not just reconnaissance, but actual strategic operations. We'll give them a reason to fear us, yes, but also a reason to respect us enough to negotiate. The senior officers nodded solemnly. They had come to test a new propulsion system. Now they found themselves the unwitting representatives of all humanity in a conflict with an interstellar coalition of 17 species. The stakes couldn't be higher. Get some rest, Elena advised her team. The war starts tomorrow. Unexpected. Allies 3 weeks into what would later be called the Human Concordate War, the Artemis drifted silently through the crimson clouds of the Vermilion Nebula. Its hull, once pristine white with blue accents, was now scorched and pitted from multiple engagements with concordate forces. Inside, the mood was tense but determined as Captain Elena West convened another strategy session with her senior officers. "Status report," she requested, her voice showing only the faintest hint of the exhaustion they all felt. "The quantum drive is still offline," Maya reported first. "We've repaired what we can, but we need specialized materials to rebuild the harmonics array. Without it, we're stuck with conventional propulsion, which means we're not getting home anytime soon," Elena concluded. "What about our operational capabilities?" Lieutenant Hayes brought up a holographic display showing the ship's damaged sections. "Shields are at 60% capacity and holding. We've repaired the portside weapons array, but the starboard array is still offline. We have enough ammunition for our railguns, but energy reserves for the pulse cannons are down to 40%. Elena nodded. "And the concordate?" Dr. Pierce took over, displaying a map of concordate space with various markers indicating fleet movements. They've established a search pattern across 3 sectors. 50 ships divided into hunter-killer groups. They're being methodical, but the territory is vast. As long as we keep moving, we can avoid detection. For now, Elena acknowledged. But we can't run forever. What about potential allies? Any progress on locating Nix Vela or her supporters? Sasha manipulated the holographic display, zooming in on a distant star system. "We've been monitoring concordate communications. Nix Vela and representatives from 3 other species have been vocal in their opposition to the war. They've established a meeting at this location, the Solari homeworld, to discuss forming a diplomatic alternative to Xylax's military approach. The meeting is scheduled for tomorrow," Raj added. "If we're going to make contact, that would be the opportunity." Elena studied the star chart carefully. "The Solari homeworld will be heavily guarded. We can't just appear in orbit." "We've been thinking about that," Maya said. "The stealth drone we recovered uses technology we can adapt. We can't hide the entire ship, but we could modify one of our shuttles with the phase-shifting technology. It would allow a small team to reach the surface undetected." Elena nodded slowly. "A covert mission to make first contact with potential allies. It's risky, but necessary." She looked around at her officers. "I'll lead the away team." "With respect, Captain," Hayes objected. "Regulations clearly state that the commanding officer should not place themselves at unnecessary risk during first contact scenarios." "These aren't normal circumstances, Lieutenant," Elena replied firmly. "This isn't just first contact. It's an attempt to prevent an interstellar war with Earth. Caught in the middle. I need to be there personally." Hayes looked like he wanted to argue further but simply nodded. "Then I request to accompany you as security." "Granted. Dr. Pierce, you'll come as well. We'll need your scientific expertise." Raj, you'll be acting captain while we're gone. Understood, Raj replied, though he looked uncomfortable with the arrangement. Maya, how soon can the shuttle be ready? Elena asked. 18 hours, assuming no complications, the engineer replied. Make it happen. We leave at 0600 tomorrow. Elena stood, signaling the end of the meeting. Get some rest, everyone. Tomorrow could be the turning point of this conflict.